Here we go. Here we go. So, welcome. The notary world is evolving, very much so. We want to learn to work smarter, not harder. Who agrees with that? Everybody, I would hope. Okay, so we're not just talking about notary work, we're talking about how to completely change the way you approach your business. This is a real business. I know some people might think, "Oh, are you still doing that little notary thing?" Okay, this is a real business. I know people that make a lot of money doing this, including myself. So I can tell you 100% that this can transform your lifestyle, your income, your family. So, whether you've been doing this for 10 years or 10 days, this workshop is about to help you shift from doing just enough to stepping into full leadership. So, I call this the CEO role. So, I always, in my head, I'm thinking I'm the CEO. And sometimes when you think of that word, you think of this big, huge corporation, somebody who's making millions. Well, if you don't see yourself that way, you'll never get there. So, you want to see yourself as the CEO and you're in that role. And it's a very important role because you are the head of your business. So it's not about working harder, it's about being smarter, more strategic, and more confident in how you show up as a business owner. So, everybody be ready to take notes, ask questions along the way, and let's build something together. Who's with me? Rah, rah, rah. Okay, great. All right, so moving on. Wrong way. Okay, so why change matters? You need to grow, you need to adapt. Again, because everything is evolving. So you want to make sure that you're not stalling. And stalling can happen to a lot of us. Even like when you're trying to lose weight and you get into that plateau mode, that can happen in your business as well when you just stall. So when I stopped seeing my business as a hustle and started treating it as a real company, this is when I saw a major shift. This is the first thing you want to think about if you're thinking about what can I do to change my business and actually grow. And the first thing is to accept that maybe you are actually seeing this as just like a side gig, a little side hustle. And we call it a hustle, but in reality, even if you're doing this part-time, when you do it part-time, you still have to do it 100%. You can't do a side hustle and do it just half-ass. Okay. It has to be like full on. I'm committed. Even if my commitment is only part-time, you have to do this 100%. You have to see it as a real company. This will allow you to see that major shift where everything just changes for you. I know for a lot of you, change is not comfortable, but it's necessary. It is very necessary. If you can't learn to change and adapt and evolve, you will forever be exactly where you are right now. All right. If you're doing what worked for you 5 years ago, you're already behind. We've really got to change with the times. And I'm not really trying to scare you. I just want you to wake up. Working smarter means investing in what works right now. So many people are not tech savvy. They haven't learned more. They've kind of stayed back. Have you seen people that still dress like the 80s and, do all the things like from the 80s and they don't change. They still have the same haircut, still drink the same coffee, still the same routine. We have to learn how to adapt to this evolving world that we live in. Learning how to use all the digital tools, improving your customer service. God, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Customer service. I cannot stand it when somebody is, I'm going to say, incompetent or simply just lacks the skills, or maybe they're just lazy, like they don't care, like they don't want to learn, and they're just doing everything because they have to, because it's a job. They haven't learned the ability to be able to provide really good customer service. And of course, you need to learn how to charge what you're worth. And we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. So every change in the industry is a chance for you to level up. Who wants to level up? I mean, if you really, like I said, it doesn't mean you have to go full time. It just means that even if you're doing this part time, commit to it part time. Maybe you commit to it only on Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays. Whatever you commit to it 100% during that time. Don't half-ass it. Nobody's offended by my language, right? I hope not. Okay, if you are, I'm sorry. That's me. Okay, next, let's move on because we do have quite a bit. Let's see, 3 and 4. Okay, specialize and dominate. This is really important in the notary business. Now, it may not be as important if you're doing, if you have another business, but in this particular business, it's extremely important to specialize. In order, if you really want to dominate the industry, you have to specialize. And I've got a story for y'all. Don't let me forget to tell you. Prince is not here tonight, but I'm going to share the story anyways, because it involves one of our notaries. It's hilarious. Okay, here's the truth that most people ignore. Generalists hustle more, specialists earn more. So if you're just doing general work, regardless of what that is in the notary industry, you may not make as much as if you specialize. So specialists, like if you go to a regular doctor, your copays are usually less, right? They're about, $10, $20, $30. You go to a specialist, now you're paying $50 or $60. Why? Because they specialize in something. They are specifically trained to do one thing. So I want you to keep that in mind. Specialists are experts. Like if I have a problem with my throat, it's one thing for me to go see my regular doctor. It's another thing for me to go see an ENT, right? So I want you to keep that in mind. Stop running around town doing random jobs and get your marketing really clear, which is what I did. I decided that I wanted my marketing and my service to be very clear. I needed to be very clear. I needed to have that clarity. I wanted to know exactly what it is that I want to do, and that's what I'm going to go after. If you've been in my masterclass, you've probably heard me say, I don't like reverse mortgages, and I intentionally will avoid them. If they offer them to me, I will avoid them by charging them outrageous fees so they'll tell me no. And if they do tell me yes, at least I'll go and I'll do it because now I know that I'm going to get paid a much higher rate. I don't like doing reverse mortgages, and that is not my goal. As a matter of fact, I've transitioned completely from loan signings to doing general notary work and cash buyers or sellers. That's my favorite. And so that's what I will normally accept. And that's really what I attract more often as well. So pick an area and focus on that. So do you want to focus on apostille? Do you want to focus on doing estate documents, where you're helping people with their wills, their trust, POAs? Maybe you want to focus on loan signings. So stop running around and just doing all these random things. Now, in the beginning, you may need to do that. I always tell everyone, do everything at least once so that you can gain the experience. So once I figured out exactly what I wanted to do, my fees really went up. Clients started referring me. So choosing a niche doesn't limit you. As a matter of fact, it puts you in a position to get more business. You can always transition or pivot later, but choose something that you want to dominate right now. So pick your niche. Specialists do earn more. Specialists also attract better clients. I want better clients. And then my tip for you to take action is choose a focus today. Everyone got that? Are you thinking about that right now as we speak? What am I going to focus on? Okay. So that was number 2. The next thing, we're going to move on. Perceived value. Okay, when I say you need to become a specialist, you don't actually have to be specialized to charge more. You have to be perceived as more valuable. So it's the perception of the client. If I go into any place of business, and if my perception is that this particular place is more valuable, then I am willing to, number one, drive farther, pay more, whatever I need to do. So I heard a story yesterday from one of my mentors, and he was talking about there's a town that he lives in, and they have only two, what they call bodegas. They're like little stores, like little, from the time when I was a little girl, you could go to the gas station and they had, just little snacks. Now, forget it. The gas stations are almost like grocery stores. But back in the day, you could go to this little store. And of course, you're going to go, usually, you're going to go to the one that's closer to you. But in the story that he was talking about, there were two bodegas, one that was very close to town, but still outside of the town. Okay. And then there was another one that was further out. He says, why do you think they were going to that second one? The one that was furthest from the town. Why were they going to that if they sold the same exact thing? So it was for many reasons. Number one, the customer service. They all wore uniforms. They had really great products. And so just the way that you have these two locations, one of them was further out, but because of the perception, because of the way they conducted business, they were able to get more of the business. So keep that in mind as you're doing your notary business. Sometimes people are going to be more willing to drive to you, even if you're further out, because of the relationship that you've built, that trust that you've built, and the type of service that you provide. Let me let one in. Okay. Any questions? Oh, by the way, remember, if you have any questions or if you want to, talk about something, feel free to do that at any time. Okay, so the perception that someone has of your business, that's what's going to drive them. So if you look like a $40 notary, people will pay you $40. If you show up like a $200 expert, that's what you'll command. Specializing helps. Again, if they perceive you as an expert in your field, they're more willing to pay you more money, even if you're not really specialized yet. Elevate your appearance, your communication, your confidence. You need to speak better because immediately people hear value when you speak. They see value because of the way that you dress, because of the way that you walk, the way that you stand, the way you look at them in the eyes, your body language. All of that is perception. And all of that means more money. So don't just be a notary, be an advisor. Now, when I say advisor, I don't mean go out and start giving, unauthorized practice of law, advice, legal advice, nothing like that. What I'm saying is advise people on how maybe they need to do whatever it is that they're doing in that moment as far as getting something notarized. You want to be the one that people come to if they need a referral. Maybe they have questions about their document. You want to be able to advise them within your scope and within your limit. You cannot go outside of that. You can get into trouble, but you want to be the person that they see as the person that they trust. Can they trust you? If you're a consultant, you're a problem solver. I see myself as a problem solver 100%. And if there's something I can't do, I'm going to send them to someone that can. And that's what I feel like people, that's why so many people want to do business with me, because even if it's not with me, I'm going to send them somewhere where they can get what they need. I'm in my videos and stuff, I always tell people, we are not just a business. We're not just an office. We are a hub of resources. So come to me if you have a question. If it's outside the scope of what I can answer, I'm going to put you in contact with someone that will. People want to do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. And that can be you. Be the trusted one, right? Okay, any questions, any feedback about anything I've just stated? All right, something else is very important. We need to be able to brand. So your brand is what people see all the time, and that's what they remember. You want to be remembered. So your brand is your first impression. So does your business card say CEO or just a hobbyist? Now, it doesn't really say CEO and it doesn't really say hobbyist, but when they look at it, what are they thinking? What is their first impression? Oh, this is just somebody doing a little notary hobby. Or they're like, man, this person is a CEO. They're running a major business. So is your website professional? Is your Google profile updated? Do you have a picture from 20 years ago? Are you posting content that builds trust? And I tell you this all the time. Oh, somebody's coming in. I tell you this all the time that it's more important to be, you need to be more of a giver than a taker. So always be giving value to people, be educating and informing people, because that will bring them back to you. It doesn't always have to be about how much money am I going to make from you this time. It has to be long term. Anybody can make $1 today from a person, but if they don't like you, if they don't trust you, if you had bad customer service, they won't come back. You made $1 today, but what about tomorrow? Like, they're not going to send you referrals. As a matter of fact, they're going to go and tell everybody how lousy you were. So make sure that you are continuing to educate yourself, and that brand, because again, this is important, the way that they perceive you is what will determine how they see your brand. And branding is a long time thing. This is for long term. So you need to, you don't need to be everywhere. You just need to show up consistently. Like, consistency is very important. You want to be able to, show up on TikTok, Google Business, your Facebook groups, networking events. Your name should pop up wherever people search for help. Again, you want to be that go-to person. Like, man, I need something. I know who's going to know. I know who's going to help me. I know who's going to tell me. So you want to be that person. Audit your brand this week. I want you to take time and go look at how you're branding yourself. What is your brand? Is it clear? Can people clearly see what your brand is? And then upgrade whatever that one thing is that screams amateur. Like, if they're looking at something, they're like, oh, that's so amateur. It could be a low quality, blurry photo. It could be inconsistent posting, like you only post every now and then, or maybe when you post, you're posting about your the weekend you had in your very short mini skirt with your boobs hanging out and drinking all that wine. If that's what you're posting, that's screaming something else. It's not screaming professional. Selling a poor grammar, like we all need to improve the way that we speak. Understand that is important. The way people hear you, the way that you're posting. I mean, I see some things, I'm like, do these people not go to school? I mean, here in the United States, and I know they did, but what is the deal? What's the deal with your grammar? I get the accent. I say it all the time in my videos. I'll say, hey, I'm from Houston, y'all. But that's part of the beauty of living in different parts of the country, right? We can have a little accent, but we need to learn how to speak, and we need to do it better. We need to learn how to spell. If you're having issues with that, you need to teach yourself. There's plenty of opportunities to learn things online now. You don't have to have a tutor or a teacher. No professional logo. You don't have a logo. You don't have a website. You don't have clear brand identity. Like, you don't know what your identity is. So everything about your brand should be very cohesive and should flow. Like, I know what my brand colors are: black, red, white, and gray. Those are my colors. And I especially like red. You can see I've red everywhere. But you need to have like an identity. What do you identify with? How do you want your clients, your consumers, the public to identify with you? What do you want them to see? And that's what you want to focus on. So if you have something that looks very amateur within your branding, go and change it this week. Take some time this week and just really analyze and reflect on your brand and how you can improve that. All right. Setting your time, valuing your time and your expertise. Why would people choose you? And how you need to set your worth. No more cheap gigs. I'm going to go over all this in just a moment. Be confident in your fees. Action tip: raise your minimum fee today. So this is what I want to talk to you about. This one is going to take a little bit longer because there's some really good information here. This is where most of the confusion is for notaries. They don't know how to charge. They don't know how to value their time. So let me tell you that story about Prince. Prince is one of our notaries in the network. I got a call from somebody and he asked me, he says, hey, what will you charge me to notarize whatever it was? And I told him, I said, well, considering the time that it is right now and that I have to come to you, it's going to be $100. He goes, really? It's 100? I said, yes, sir. I said, that's what I charge. Again, let's keep in mind the situation right now. He's like, okay, well, look, I got $50. Let me get the other 50. I'll call you right back. And I said, okay, great. So next thing I know, I'm not hearing from him. And then I get a text from Prince. He goes, hey, what would you charge to do this? Or no, he was asking me about the document, the same document that other guy had asked me about. And so I told him, I said, did that guy just call you? He says, yeah. And I told him what he needed to do with the document because it didn't have a notary block. And so he said, well, can I just add a loose acknowledgement? And I said, yes, you can. So then I texted the guy back and I said, hey, I know you just talked to Prince. I said, I know most of the notaries in the area that are answering the phone, obviously. If they're not answering the phone, they're probably not one of my notaries. And so I told him, I said, and I understand that you've already hired him. He says, well, yeah. He says, can you go down on your price? I said, no, absolutely not. It's not worth my time. If I'm not going to get paid $100, I'd rather not do it. And so he's like, okay, well, yeah, I said, just go with him. Just let Prince handle it. Prince charged him $60 to go and do the document that I said I would charge 100 for. And I told him, I said, man, you really, really didn't, charge enough. I said, the guy had $100 in his pocket to pay. He'd already told me he'd already found it. And then here you go and you're just lowballing yourself. You're underpaying yourself. And he says, oh, that's one of the things I don't know. I told you that. I don't know how to price. But yet, where's Prince? Where is he tonight? Where is he in all my other tutorials and classes? And so lo regañé. I got onto him. I said, you need to get into those tutorials. I said, you can't be doing this to yourself. Like that's not a good thing to do. And it's okay. I told him I was going to be telling everyone about it. So I'm not tattling on him. This is an experience for everyone to learn. I want you to know that I charge high. And why? Because I know my value. Like number one, I'm going to be there. Number two, I know I'm going to do it right. I know what needs to happen. I'm not the one calling someone else to ask them how to do something. I already know. Okay. So why am I going to charge $60? No way. Definitely not. So just know that you do and you can and you should charge more. You know why? What does $60 say to somebody? I just talked to somebody who's asking 100. Are they taking advantage of me? Or are they just better? I always say you get what you pay for, right? I'm not saying that he was going to do it wrong. He probably did it just fine. I hope, I don't know. I didn't see the document. But I would hope that he did an excellent job and provided a good service and everything for the $60 he got paid. But it's not enough. It's just not enough. Okay. Let me go. I have some things and I'm going to share this with you. Afterwards, if you will bear with me and send me a text with your email, I'm going to send you this and you're going to want this. We're going to go over it right now. So 5 ways to really filter out these price shoppers. Okay. Because price shoppers are what bring our prices down. And that goes for signing agencies. When they send out this thing, they're going to pay you $30 for a document or even like a whole loan signing. And then somebody takes it. Well, now they think they can do that because somebody took it. So I want you to know that there are ways to really filter out these price shoppers, especially if you're doing general notary work. Once you're on Google, once you've got your profile set up besides SnapDocs, you're going to probably get some calls and you're going to want to know, how do I handle this? All right. So lead with value, not with price. Usually I get calls and they'll say, hey, listen, do you notary or are you a notarizer? Or do you have a notary? And I'll say, yes, I am a notary. And so That's usually the first thing they want to ask. And then they'll tell you what their problem is. I need something notarized, or this is the document I'm getting asked for, and they go into that. And so then the last thing they're going to ask me is price. Usually that's how it works. Sometimes the people that start out with price, that's what you want to be aware of. So when someone asks for a quote, don't immediately just give them a number. Instead, highlight the service that they're getting first. Okay, so here's an example. I provide mobile notary services that include flexible scheduling, professional presentation, and secure handling of sensitive documents. This is important. Like for some people, like they don't care. They don't care. They just want the cheapest thing. That's it. But what they don't realize is how important it is to make sure that that document is notarized properly. Okay, I've seen big, huge mistakes. Throughout the years, I've seen a lot of notaries make a lot of mistakes. I made them in the very beginning. I don't do that anymore, but I've seen them recently. I see some really big mistakes that notaries make, and that will cost those people something. It's going to cost them something. So that is the way that you can start out by giving the value. I provide mobile notary services that include flexible schedule. Like I have a very flexible schedule. Listen, you don't have to worry about, the presentation. I'm going to make sure it gets done right. I'm going to make sure that your documents are handled with the utmost professionalism and sensitivity, something along those lines. If you start out with that, then you're off to a good start. This changes the conversation to value before they ever hear the price. If you ever go into a store to buy an electronic product, they immediately will tell you everything it does. If you go to buy a car, they want you to drive it. They're going to show you all the great features it has before they'll even tell you how much it is. So you want to do the same thing with your mobile notary business. State your minimum fee clearly and confidently. Don't say, yeah, I think I'm going to charge you $50. You have to say it like you do it all day long. Like this is very common, just very plain and simple. This is what you do. This is what it is. And that's it. So state your minimum fee clearly, confidently, have a minimum fee and say it confidently. Don't apologize for that. Like I know I never will leave my house for less than $50. That's my minimum fee. There is a way to get around that, but I have a way to do it so that it portrays me as being a very busy person, that I'm willing to work with them under their circumstances, but I'm still the professional. So here's an example. My mobile notary services start at $75, depending on the type of document and travel distance. So have already set that in your mind. What is the minimum fee? And then I work from there. Like how far are you? What time of day is it? Is it after 8 o'clock? Is it, very early morning before 6? Am I traveling at night when I can't see the number on the house? What are we dealing with here? How many documents is it? Is it in a hospital? Is it, at your house? Are you doing it in a parking lot somewhere in the middle of the night? Take all that into consideration. How urgent is it for them? The more urgent it is, the more it should cost. Okay. Why? Because urgency means you have to do it right. And here's what happens when it's an urgent situation, you start going really fast and it's more opportunity to make a mistake. So you want to remember to slow down and do it right. So keep that in mind. My mobile notary services start at $75, depending on the type of document and travel distance. If that scares them away, good, they weren't your client. And you have to be prepared for that. They may not be your client. So here's another example. I go into the Galleria. I go into Nordstrom. I see some amazing clothes. $1,000 for a t-shirt. Okay. And you know what? I'm not going to say, oh, that's not worth it or that's too high. No, I'm going to say that's way out of my budget. Like I can't afford that. Like it's not that the shirt isn't worth it. Doesn't mean that the Louis Vuitton bag for $6,000 isn't worth it, or the Hermes bag for $60,000 that Carly, whatever her name is, has. But those kinds of things are outside of my budget. but it doesn't mean that they're not worth it. So remember that your service may be out of someone's budget. That's on them, not on you. So remember, if it scares them away, good. They weren't your client. Get off the phone and go to the next one. Real clients respect strong pricing boundaries. If you haggle even a little bit, they're going to keep wanting to haggle. They're going to want you to keep doing more. Okay, well, oh, so you're going to charge me a little bit less? Okay, great. Well, can I just change the address? Can you drive an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes? So the moment you start haggling and you start letting go of some of your boundaries, now they're just going to take up more from you. So don't do it. Number 3, use phrases that set the expectations. You want to train people. You need to tell people what to do. People want to be told what to do. Everyone needs instructions. So train people immediately that you are a premium service. I want everyone to say it. I am a premium service.
I'm a premium service.
Yes.
I'm in a premium service.
Oh, no, Carolina. Dilo con más ganas, por favor.
I'm in a premium service.
I am a premium service. You have to say it like you mean it. I am a premium service. Okay. So the way that you speak and the way that you handle yourself, that's what demonstrates premium service. I think of myself as the person that does all the white glove service. I do all the extras. I listen to their BS. I'm there to coddle them and just agree with them if they need to. Maybe throw in a little advice. Maybe pat them on the shoulder. Make them feel better. I'm going to give a premium service.
Sacaste la pinche bolsa que te dieron
Hey,
del...
Elena, we can hear you.
I'm sorry. This little girl here.
I know. So phrases to use. I specialize in urgent, high priority notarizations. Y'all hear that? I specialize in urgent, high priority notarizations. I'm not just cualquiera. I'm not just anybody. I specialize in urgent, high priority notarizations. Clients choose me for my experience and professionalism. These are great one-liners for a business card or for your website or for your post. Have your picture and put it on there. As a matter of fact, this is a really good idea. I'm going to do this tomorrow. Clients choose me for my experience and professionalism. I focus on clients who need guaranteed reliability. If you haven't heard my story, I had a lady one day. She called me. She was down there at the boat. She was selling a boat and she was at a Starbucks in Link City waiting for the notary to show up. She didn't show up. And next thing you know, she's, waiting and waiting. She finally calls me. She says, hey, can you be here in 30 minutes? The notary I hired never showed up. I said, sure. Send me the address. I can be there within 30 minutes. It's going to be $100 fee. And she said, $100. She says, the other notary is going to charge me $50. I said, yeah, but I'm going to show up. She could have done it for free, but if she doesn't show up, then what good does that do you? She goes, oh yeah, just come on. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And so that's what I'm talking about. This is the difference between that notary and me. I answered the phone. Okay, that was the other thing. She was trying to reach out to her and she wasn't answering the phone. Number one, I answer the phone. And number two, if I say I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm on my way. Okay. So when you're stating all of this is immediately going to filter out all those people that are just looking for the cheapest service. Okay. I'm looking for better clients. I want people that are willing to pay the higher price, people that expect it. There are people that expect quality service. I'm sure you know some of those people. Number 4, you want to offer premium options. Give people a yes that fits your terms. For example, I can accommodate urgent same-day service for a premium rate, or schedule a standard appointment tomorrow at my regular fee. So you give people options. Hey, listen, I can come to you tonight. It's going to be $300, or you can come to my office tomorrow. Maybe it's 25, maybe it's 10. It's just depending on what the service is. But that's how you do it. Okay, I can do it tonight, or you can wait until tomorrow morning and and then the standard rate is for tomorrow morning is this much, but if I do it tonight, this is a premium rate. And you can charge whatever you want. And they're either going to take it or they're not, depending on how urgent it is. Like that young man told me yesterday, he goes, let me get let me get it. And then he called me back, said, I got it. But then he got Prince and Prince said 60. So now he was going to save himself 40 bucks. Do you think that losing $100 to Prince bothered me? Not at all. It just wasn't for me. And I was happy for Prince, you know. He's still getting a lot of calls, a lot of them, unfortunately, because of the area he's in. He gets a lot of Spanish calls, and he does send those to me. So it didn't bother me one bit. I was happy. If it was going to be another notary, I was glad it was one of ours. Okay, so just remember that. I was happy for him. I wanted him to make the money. I just wish he would have made more. At the very least, you know, maybe he had said 80 or 90. Okay, now by saying I can accommodate urgent same day or standard premium rate, at another date or time, now they know that you're still flexible. You're demonstrating that you have flexibility in your schedule. It's still on your terms and not on theirs, but it shows that you have some flexibility and you're willing to work with them. Hey, look, if we do it tonight, this is a premium rate. If we do it tomorrow, it's a standard rate. It's totally up to you. What would you prefer? And let them decide. Then it's on them. Number 5, brand yourself as an expert. Price shoppers look for the cheapest any notary, like any notary. Any notary can stamp something. I'm telling you, anybody can stamp something. But if your branding says you're the expert, you're no longer comparable. Ways to brand yourself as premium. You have a professional website, or you have a Google profile. That is being professional. If you do not have a digital online presence, you do not exist. Having uniformed appearance, even if it's just a nice blazer and business cards. Again, I try to have consistency with my colors and everything, right? Client testimonials about your professionalism. That's where those reviews come in. Posting helpful tips on social media. Again, being more of a giver than a taker. Experts set their own prices. Commodities get haggled. Okay, we're not at the flea market. We're not a flea market notary. We don't haggle prices. We already have set prices, and then we can charge more based on different factors. So here's a quick script you can use. When a potential client asks, how much do you charge? This is how you respond. Thanks for asking. I provide professional mobile notary services tailored for urgent and sensitive documents. My minimum fee is $75, which includes travel and secure document handling. How soon were you needing service? So you notice you are leading with professionalism, you're setting the fee, and you're staying in control. Not everyone is going to want to pay, not everyone can pay that. It's not that they don't want to, it's that they can't. You might be out of their budget. And maybe next time they'll get it done during the week and not wait until the last minute, right? Because that's really what a lot of times is happening. These people have had the document maybe for days, and now all of a sudden, come Monday morning, 9 o'clock, they have to turn that in somewhere, and they never got it notarized. So just keep that in mind. They thought they were just going to walk into their bank on Saturday and the bank was going to do it, and banks just don't do that anymore. It's not the same thing. So here are some red flags. This is really what I want you to have, is this checklist of red flags. So one of the very first red flags you're going to have when talking with someone is how much. If the first thing out of their mouth is how much, this is a red flag. What does it mean? It means that they're focused only on price, not on quality. What to do? Respond with your value statement before giving a price. Let them know up front. I provide a flexible schedule. Whatever you want to include as your standard spiel. You have to come up with something for yourself. Make sure you're letting them know, hey, I'm going to be there. I'm going to show up. I'm going to get you this. I'm going to do this for you. This is what I do, etc. So you want to respond with your value statement. Everyone needs to come up with a value statement. Now, if they say, this is another red flag, if they say that's too expensive immediately after they hear your fee, It probably means that they were hoping for a $10 mobile notary. And a lot of times I hear that. They'll say, oh, I thought it was just $10. Yeah, sure. Come to me. But, come to me tomorrow morning between the hours of 9 and 7 when I'm in my office, not at 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday. Do you really think I'm only going to charge $10 on Sunday night at 11 o'clock at night? That's not going to happen. So thank them politely. Don't be ugly. I sometimes want to say, are you kidding me? Like, really? Would you do that for $10? Like, nobody would do that for $10. You want to thank them politely and move on. Don't negotiate down. Just say, hey, listen, I'm really sorry I couldn't help you. And then be done with it. Another red flag. They want to skip the important steps like ID verification. What does that mean? They value speed and savings over doing it right. They don't care about doing it right. They just need it done. And they don't care about anything else except I got to get it done right now. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm on my way. Where are you located? Send me the address. I'm on my way. It's just one paper. Let's do this. That's a red flag. Hold firm on your procedures and protect yourself legally. Don't do anything that could get you into trouble. Really think that through. Be careful. As a matter of fact, Georgia gave me this today. She says, hey, Leticia, this might be some good content. And it's 10 E&O cases that landed notaries in court. One of them was a notary who notarized through a car window. She was being pressured and rushed by a signer. A notary quickly notarized a warranty deed from inside her car without properly verifying the signer's identity. What did she miss? The name of the signer in the journal did not match the name of the taxpayer identified as the grantor on the warranty deed. So the grantor is the seller. It did not match the person's ID. So she got sued. Luckily, she had $100,000 in E&O, and the case was settled for $55,000, and the notary ended up having to pay $18,000 in attorney's fees, which, by the way, her E&O covered. So it's very important not to be pressured and rushed. You have to do it right. If another red flag, if they argue about your travel fee or after hours fee, they expect you to absorb the cost to win their business. Like, hey, I'm doing you a favor. That's what they think. I'm doing you a favor. So what do? Reaffirm your service and convenience, but don't waive your fees. I don't have a problem telling people, look, I'm not charging you for the notary stamps. I'm charging you for my time. The travel fee, the time of day, the traffic, whatever it is. Like this has a value to me. Like if there's a hassle, the more of a hassle there is, the more this goes up in price. Like the fact that we're having this conversation is taking up a lot of time. All I can hear when we're going through that back and forth is cha-ching, 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 because that tells me they really need it. And if it's at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and I can tell in their voice that they're desperate, they're going to find the money to hire me. I mean, that's all there is to it. And I'm not going to go down. Okay. Another red flag, they rush you, but they hesitate to pay, deposit, or confirm. Like if the moment that you're not getting confirmation, or they're not responding to your text, or they haven't paid you as they said they would, that's a big red flag for me. They want service now, but they want to commit later. That's dangerous, very dangerous. If you are doing something later in the evening, my suggestion is get them to go ahead and Zelle you the money. Unless they tell you they're paying you cash, get the money from them now. Go ahead and have them submit. As a matter of fact, in those kinds of instances, I wouldn't want to take cash at night. I would just say, hey, listen, go ahead and Zelle me the money now. And if they don't want to do that, then don't go. Require firm confirmation or a deposit for rush jobs. Like, hey, because between the time I leave my house and I get there, they might have already talked to somebody else, and now somebody else is charging them $60 instead of $100. And now I'm going to show up and they've already hired somebody else. So make sure you get the money up front. Another red flag, they try to stack multiple signatures but only pay for one. So I'm always very clear on the phone. So it's one signature, one signer. One document, one signature, one signer. And if they put that in the text, I always confirm in the text. So one signature, one signer, the fee is this much. If I show up and there's a whole bunch of other signatures, the fee is going to go up. Like I'm going to go ahead and get my money. And I'm going to say, okay, for these additional, it's going to be X amount of dollars. You want to count every signature, every travel, and waiting time separately. Again, waiting time could constitute having to wait while the nurses are changing the bed, giving him medications, maybe changing out those little things, those little electric nodules that they put on your skin because they're monitoring you. Whatever it is, all of that is time, and time is money. Red flag. They get defensive when you explain your process. They're suspicious. This is what this means, that they're suspicious and they treat you like you're just some other vendor. So what do? Stay calm, stay firm. Serious clients appreciate thoroughness. Like if they don't want to hear your whole process on how this works, they don't care. And they're probably going to be problematic when you arrive. Like if they don't care to hear how this actually process works and they're talking over you, then that's probably going to be a problem. So you want to stay calm. You have to learn to be very authoritative. Like your mama was with you. Like, no, you do it like this. Again, people want to be told what to do. And you need to tell them how to do it. Red flag. They start the call by shopping around and they tell you that they're shopping around. They only admit they're hunting for the lowest bidder. So I wish them luck and focus your energy elsewhere. Oh, okay, so you're shopping around. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I may not be the lowest, but I am the best. Like you're not going to find anyone else like me. I'm the best notary. And I don't have a problem telling people that. But you know what? I wish you the best. I am probably out of your budget anyways. So then go on, like just continue, just wait for the next call. I think people should know that hiring me comes with a higher price. I don't have a problem with that. And there's plenty of people that are more than happy to pay it. As a matter of fact, look what I got in my pocket right now, $200 for a very simple notarization. So people are happy to pay it. They're more than happy to pay it. You just have to present that confidence and that value to them. Okay. Any questions? Anybody have any questions? Like y'all have been very quiet.
I have a question.
Yes, Sandy.
So you were mentioning about getting sued. So on the NAA or website for our notary, we already have something that, like that type of insurance. Do you recommend getting a second insurance?
No.
Okay.
My suggestion is, I think it's probably a good idea to have 100,000. It's not very expensive. You can buy it on NNA. But I think when you're first starting out, if you're not doing very much and you're strictly doing this on a very limited scale, like just every now and then, I think 50 to 100 is going to be fine. Mine is for $1 million, and you can't buy that through the NNA. I get it through Buy Burke, $1 million policy. It's like $40 a month, but I sleep really well at night. Like if I ever made a really bad mistake, that would cover me.
Okay.
All right, that's a good question. Anybody else want to share? We're hitting almost that hour, but I knew this one was going to take a little longer because I wanted to make sure y'all had all that information. And I appreciate y'all sending me your emails. I'll make sure to screenshot this so that I can send that to you later.
I have a question.
Yes, Monica.
Do you ask for a deposit like a partial? Do they usually give you a partial payment before getting to the notary service location?
So Monica, generally what I tell them is this: you will need to Zelle payment as soon as the notary is en route. I don't always necessarily tell them it's me. I'll say, okay, I'm going to assign a notary to you. And when that notary is en route, I'm going to notify you and let you know that the notary is on the way. You're going to go ahead and make that payment at that time.
Okay,
Only a couple of times have I had someone say, well, can I pay half and then pay the other half later? And I get it. They're worried that we're not going to show up and they're going to be out some money, right? But I'm also sending them my flyer, my business card, my website, so they can have a little more confidence. But if they absolutely only want to pay half, I'm okay with that. But I make sure that the notary doesn't leave until that's been paid, the other half.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Good question. All right, moving on. So you want to invest in learning and of course in systems. This has really changed my business for me. If you don't get anything else out of tonight, having a system that is built to help you do better, this is really what you need. And you may have several systems. In the business that I have right now, in this multi-service business, there I have systems that help me. Software, all the different things, Chat GPT, Microsoft, Adobe, DocuSign, you name it. If it's going to help me make my job easier, make me more efficient, and make me more money, I am all in. So you have to have systems. That means courses. It means getting coaching. It means automation, having things be automatic. For example, that link that y'all go to, that Stand Store link, I pay for that. But you know what? It makes it easier. I'm not individually having to send out these links. I don't have to send out a registration. I don't have to have people, I don't have to send my ebook to people. They could just go in there and download it themselves. Tell me, this is so much more efficient. It makes my life easier. It makes my business better. So you want to make sure that you have those systems in place to help you run your business. You can't just wing it. You can't just wing it. Okay. Your way all the way to the top. You're not going to get there by just winging it. You need to have courses under your belt. You need to get those tutorials and just educate yourself. These are not luxuries. These are investments. You must invest in yourself. If you want the freedom, time freedom, if you want time freedom, you need systems. Before when I first opened this office, I would always pray, Lord, send me more people, send me more people. You know what I pray for now? I say, Lord, let me work less and make more money. Like I need less work, but more money. That's how I pray now. And that's the way it should be for everybody. You want to make more money? Let's work smarter, not harder. Let's make more money and work less. That's what we should be looking to do. I ask God for help, but then I implement those things that are going to help me to do that. So systems for scheduling. I use my calendar. Like I cannot live without my calendar. I'm looking at it at night before I go to bed to see what my day looks like for the next day. And in the morning I get up and I remind myself of what I've got going on for the day. You've got to have that. Invoicing, follow-up, marketing. We have someone in our office now that is helping with a lot of these things, making those calls, doing the marketing, helping with the marketing, because I do most of it. So just helping, like calling people, different things like that, sending out emails. Learning fuels your confidence. So if you really want to build confidence, you need to continue to learn. Systems give you your time back. Wow. I have a system in place for my forms as a notary. And I know that I've talked about this before, but you've got to idiot proof everything. I'm sorry. That's harsh. Let's say dummy proof it. Okay. Dummy proof it like you would kid proof or baby proof your house if you had a baby running around. Like you want to you would hope that your child isn't going to go and stick their finger in the outlet, but you know that they could. And so you cover it so that they don't. Well, that's what you need to do with your business. So one of the things I do for myself, because I'm so busy and I need to make sure that I can find things easily, I email forms or any important documents to myself and I put them in special folders. So all of my forms are in an email folder that says forms. I email it to myself and then I stick it in that folder for forms. I know if I'm looking for a POA, I can just go right in there. It's in there. I know where it is. I don't have to go looking for it on my computer, on my Google Drive, on my OneDrive. Where is it? It's not Easter. I'm not looking for eggs. I mean, I need to know where that is. Like right now, I got somebody here. I need to know where it is. So dummy proof your stuff. Get yourself organized. That gives you time freedom. Like, don't you guys want more time? Like, aren't y'all tired of being so tied down to everything? Like your 9 to 5 and then the kids and then everything else. You want to build a system that will help you get more time freedom. Okay. Decide right now, what is your learning goal for the next 30 days? What's one process that you can automate or delegate this month? So I delegate some of the work that I have to Karina. She's in our office now, Monday through Wednesday. So when she's here, extremely helpful. I say, Karina, I need you to do this. I need you to go into my Snap Docs. I need you to reconcile all my checks. What have I been paid? What am I still owed? I've got her doing things that are not making me money. I need to work on the things that make me money and have someone else do all the other things that don't make me money in that moment. And that's one of them. Like admin stuff isn't making me money. I need to be marketing. I need to be, calling people. I need to be, looking at my Google ads. What are the analytics? What's working, what's not. I actually have a spreadsheet that I put in every single phone call that comes in. Do you not think that that's time consuming? Like I'm doing a million things at once, but I know if I don't do it, I'm not going to know where the calls came from. Did they come from my ad for Apoyo? Did they come from my ad from executive services? Or did they come from the ad for mobile services? I'm running 3 ads at one time. And so it's important for me to know what's working and what's not. And I noticed that at night, the Apoyo ads work better than the notary ad. Those work crazy throughout the day. So you need to know that. So you've got to keep track. You have to keep up with that. Don't invest in ads if you're not going to keep up with them. Like you need to know what's working. That's part of that freedom. So success does leave clues. And just know that expenses are not really expenses if it's an investment. So think of your investments not as expenses. They're investments. You're investing in yourself. You're investing in your business. And just remember that systems buy you freedom. All right. Next. Remember, set a learning goal for the next 30 days. Something you want to learn. Do you want to learn how to use Canva? Do you want to learn how to do a story for TikTok or a reel or something? But set a goal for yourself to learn something the next 30 days. Learn how to do apostilles. Whatever you need to do, learn something in the next 30 days that will help you either to make more money or to be more efficient, have more time freedom. And if you already know what that is, I want you to put it in the chat. If you're going to learn a system, if you're going to learn how to use Google Ads, if you're going to learn how to use Canva, what are you going to learn in the next 30 days? I want you to tell us in the chat. All right. So are you running a hobby or business? This is the most important mind shift of everything. So are you running a business or are you just playing with a hobby? Hobbyists say yes to everything and then totally burn out. You cannot burn out. Okay. This is a business is going to be for long-term. You need, okay. Yes. Automated reminders of appointments. I love that. That's extremely important. Thank you, Mercy. So building this business means that you have to be intentional. CEOs are intentional. They're not just, oh, let me run over here and do this. Oh, let me go run. No, you have to be very intentional. They know their vision. They build the systems. They set the boundaries and they stay in control. Stop thinking like a side hustler. Start acting like the CEO. Listen, if you've ever met somebody who's really into just side hustles, you'll see them that this month they're in this side hustle, then the next month they're in another side hustle, and then next year they've already gone through like 10 side hustles, right? Because it's just let's just see how this works out. No, there's not really a commitment there. So make it official, write your CEO affirmation. And by CEO affirmation, it can be something as simple as I lead my business with clarity, confidence, and cash flow. I want you to think about that for just a moment while I read you mine. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen this in my office when you've been here, or if you've ever actually heard me read it out. I think I've posted it a couple times in a video, but this is how it goes. I am an entrepreneur and leader. My God-given vision is clear. I think carefully and make wise decisions. I am a problem solver. I am focused on my business. I am building a legacy. I am in contest with no one but myself. I set my gaze on my goals. I am resilient and diligent. On the tough days, I show up. I am consistent and not slothful. I do my work heartily as unto the Lord. I add value to everything I touch and everyone I meet. I gladly receive help and support. Challenges are only a part of my success story. I refuse mediocrity. I have an excellent spirit. I am in good health. I have an abundance of profitable ideas. The works of my hands separate me apart. I give abundantly because I have abundance. My skills make money for me globally. I take territories for God's kingdom. Poverty does not touch me. All of my desires come to fruition. I have dominion over all things. My team is blessed. The world is my marketplace. My today is better than yesterday. My tomorrow will be better than today. The steps of nations are ordered to me. The best part is I'm just getting started. And that is my business, my creed. This is what I use to really motivate me, to remind me of who I am and what I want to do. Monica's over there clapping. So this
Amen.
this to me, every time I say it out loud, I can feel it on the inside of me. So find something that motivates you and inspires you, even if it's as simple as the one I mentioned before. I lead my business with clarity, confidence, and cash flow. So come up with something. Elena, master the use of my company phone system. Good, very good. Learn how to use the CRM, call, following up, cold, warm leads. Those are all good things to be focusing on. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you, Elena, for coming up with that. Okay. All right, so you understand now the difference between the hobby mentality and the CEO mindset. Everyone needs to try to focus on having that mindset, that CEO mindset, even if it's not in the notary business. Maybe it's in your other business. Maybe it's just running a household. You've got to have that CEO mindset, making decisions based on vision, not on desperation. So just because maybe you haven't made money and you're desperate, you're going to take a $20, fee to drive an hour. That's going to put your bank account in negative because gas is very expensive, right? So make sure that your decisions are based on vision, not out of desperation. Choose high impact services and ideal clients. Build your system, branding, client experience. Think long term and then act with intention. Treat the business as an asset. This is an asset. This is something that you can pass down to a beneficiary, a family member. This is something you can hand off to someone. This is a real business that you can give someone or that you can sell. Don't take it lightly. Don't go into that hobby mentality. Don't do it like in survival mode, because when you get into survival mode, you're not paying yourself. You're going to unjustly service yourself by giving those low fees to people because you're just in survival mode. Don't take random jobs just to make money. Do it for many reasons, like to learn, for the experience, to help the person, but don't do it just to make the money. You need to have those clear goals or systems, or you're going to stay in that hobby mentality. Don't be reactive. You want to be strategic. View the business. Don't just view the business as an extra income. This is not just an extra income. This is additional income that you're doing this maybe part-time, but you're in it 100%, thinking in terms of, I'm helping the community. I'm adding value to my income. I'm adding value to my family's lifestyle. I'm adding value to my future, and I'm preparing for retirement or paying off debt or whatever you need to do, whatever those goals are. You need to view this as more than just extra income, because what is that money doing for you? There is something that is happening for you as you're continuing to make more money. And there's more benefit to it than just having the extra income just so you can go get a new pair of shoes. There has to be more to it than that, because if that's all you see as far as this business, then it's never going to be a real business. You're never going to achieve real goals. You're never going to really fulfill a purpose in your life or have true meaning when it comes to being a notary, because we are public servants and what we do matters to people. Like, people need what you have. So make sure that you are switching from the hobby mentality into the CEO mindset. I would greatly appreciate it if y'all would at least screenshot or take a picture of this slide, because I want you to analyze yourself, your thoughts, your processes. Which mindset do you have? And then I need you to change it. Okay. I need you to change it, because I need people like you that can help us help more people, because people really do need our service. All right, any questions? So I want to thank you for showing up for yourself. Really, this is for you. All my trainings are always for you. So remember, get that script together for yourself. How much do you charge? And then you're going to remember that you're going to have to, figure something out when it comes to responding. I want you to get all those different things in place. Build your systems, learn how to be confident. I want you to be able to really branch out and grow within your business. Don't leave money on the table. So before we go, I want you to, if you have questions, any type of question, it doesn't necessarily have to be about tonight. But if you're not taking the time to work on your business, you're going to just get stuck. You're going to get stuck. You're not going to grow. But that's not going to be you. That's not going to be you. All of you that are on tonight, you've made space tonight to think bigger, to get better, and then you're committing to growth. The next level is available to you. This is not just for people like me. It's not just for me. This is for all of you. But it requires you to show up differently. So many people think, oh, Leticia makes it easy. Oh, it's because she's been doing it. So no, it's because I work my ass off. Like, I am working all the time. And I love it. I absolutely love what I do. That makes a difference. It doesn't feel like work. But don't expect to have the same results that I have if you don't have the same mentality. You've got to have the same mentality. Like, you have got to learn not to take no for an answer. And that's in your business as well. So show up like a CEO. I believe in you, and I'm rooting for your success. So if you've ever thought, man, I just don't have a cheerleader, I don't have anybody supporting me. Hey, you have me. I am always cheering for you. I'm always rooting for you. So ask me anything. Let's open this up to Q&A. Anybody have any questions before we go? And if you don't, that's okay too. You can always ask me later, but let me know what you have, what you'd like to ask.
I have two questions.
Yes, please.
Okay, so first, when you run ads, do you ask the people that you talk to how they found you? Is that how you track what's working and what's not working?
That is definitely one of the ways that I do it. The other way that I do it is because each ad has a different phone number. So I know that if they're calling my cell phone, I know that that's coming through exec services. If they call the office number, they're calling the Apoyo ad. So that's how I know. Now, when they come in or I visit with them, I'll ask them. Sometimes they're really good about just telling you, oh, I just Googled you. I found you on Google. That's how I know.
Okay. And so when you were talking about how you come up with your pricing and say, you have your minimum fee, or, they can schedule it for during regular hours. For remote online notary, I was thinking, but I'm not sure if you do an online notarization and it has the digital stamp, if it's something that they can print out and have, or is it always digital? So I'm still trying to figure that out, because that was going to probably be my alternative option to my pricing. So if,
Okay.
I can say, my fee is $100, or we can do it remote online for 75, right?
Yes.
But I'm not sure if if it's physically possible for after it has the digital stamp, if they can print out a copy for themselves. Do you know if that's an option?
Well, you mean the document itself?
Mm-hmm.
They get a copy of the document once it's been notarized, definitely.
Oh, okay. So they can like download it, save it, print it, and do whatever they need with it.
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else? It's going. Nope. I'm trying to screenshot all of y'all's emails. Well, y'all came up with some great things over here, things that you're going to be working on. Ah, Natalie, learn to be more social and network. I love it. You know, networking is huge to your business. Got to learn to network. Aurora, mi placer. Me encanta lo que hago. Y siempre estaré aquí para ustedes mientras que Dios me dé vida. Okay, how do you do digital notary? Carly, that's a whole other question that it's going to take a lot more to go through tonight. We could talk about it. You and I, we can discuss it. Okay, I've got all the screenshots. Anybody have anything they'd like to say? Feedback. Can somebody give me something that you got out of it? What did you get out of tonight?
Mainly saying no to cheap prices
Okay,
because it's going to cost more in the long run.
yes. Definitely.
I'm always be attending the red flags.
Okay, yes, pay more attention to the red flags, definitely.
Stay consistent. It's not going to happen overnight.
Yes, definitely not going to happen overnight. Definitely not.
Confidence
Yes.
and believing in yourself. You are worth
Yes,
every service, you're worth it, and you need to value yourself.
yes, 100%. See yourself like a CEO. Yes, Monica, you are a CEO. I see you all over TikTok, girl. Okay, well, I appreciate all of you. I appreciate you being so attentive. I saw some of you taking notes. Most of you were taking notes for the ones that are on camera. And I wish you a lovely evening. And I can't wait to hear about your success. Please keep me posted. I want to hear all the good things. Share it with us in the group. We all want to hear how well you are doing. Let me know how the next 30 days is for you. I want to know that you have moved forward with doing something. So let us all hear about it. We want to see you. I want to see you online. I want to see send us your links once you set up your Google My Business. And we are all going to go in and give you a Google review, 5-star. So share those links with us. Let us know how we can help. And just remember, it's never too early, never too late to call me. If you don't have my number, go to the Stand Store link, download my email is there. Just reach out to me.
Thank you.
All right. Well, good night, everyone.
Thank
Have a great
you.
night. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.